Choose any ATM of your convenience and stand a chance to win gold sovereigns.
Lanka Pay.
Under the theme Customs delivering on its commitment to efficiency, security and prosperity, with President Anno Dissanayake in attendance as the chief guest. During the event, the President presented merit certificates issued by the World Customs Organization to 20 customs officials in recognition for their outstanding contributions to special operations.
වර්ෂය 2024 is the year during which customs collected the highest revenue in its history. The 1.533 trillion rupee revenue achieved during the year was a considerable increase compared to the 970 billion rupees collected in 2023. During the recent past, custom officials faced various challenges in executing their duties to collect revenue for the state in line with government's objectives. Certain seizure operations conducted by customs officials were especially dangerous. There are threats to the lives of officials involved in such operations even today. Officials face grave dangers due to the organized criminal activities being conducted by a minority of importers and exporters. I have implemented special security measures against these threats within my capacity. Sri Lanka Customs is advancing rapidly with new technology. We are especially taking steps to expedite the digitalization of the customs.
This year we must achieve a revenue to GDP ratio of 15%. To that end, the customs has been set a revenue target of 2.55 trillion rupees. There were proposals on new salary scales. The budget proposal is currently being prepared and we intend to grant a considerable salary increment. Every time reforms are about to be implemented, a conflict arises between state officials and the political authority. Therefore, we have been unable to implement many legal and structural changes at the right time. There are certain tasks that, if they are not completed by the proper time, will not yield desired outcomes. We are considerably behind in implementing many reforms. Therefore, I make one thing clear. Every decision taken by myself or the current political authority is intended to advance the country and improve the quality of life of its citizens. Those decisions require your support. Structural changes are needed in all three revenue collection agencies, the Customs Department, the Inland Revenue Department and the Excise Department. You are being praised for achieving your revenue target and contributing to stabilizing the economy. However, at the same time, a significant number of containers are stranded at the port as they cannot be cleared. Currently, annual transshipments amount to about 7.8 million containers, which is already considerable. However, our target is to increase it to 11.3 million by 2030. The maritime market has become competitive due to the efficiency brought about by recent development. If we fail to capitalize on this competition due to container congestion worsening, we would have squandered our natural potential. Is that good or bad? That is my only question. The Customs Department has one of, if not the biggest responsibility to fulfill in this regard. I expect your contribution in fulfilling that responsibility.
වැඩ කොටසක් තිබෙනවා මම හිතන්නේ විශාලම පංගුව තිබෙනවා ඔබට ඒ පංගුවේ ඔබේ දායකත්වය මා විශේෂයෙන්ම අපේක්ෂා කරනවා.
Meanwhile, the Export Development Council of Ministers convened yesterday at the Presidential Secretariat, chaired by President Anno Dissanayake, marking the resumption of the committee's activities after 28 years. Key decisions and discussions at the meeting included establishing a VAT refund system at the airport for goods purchased by tourists, replacing the manual scanning system at the Katunayake airport with an automated system to address delays and inefficiencies in the inspection of export products, permitting the inspection of railway engines manufactured in Sri Lanka, which had previously posed a barrier to exports, to be conducted within the country, introducing renewable energy sources to reduce costs within the export industry and to launch a program to encourage exporters to adopt modern technology, enhancing cost efficiency while conserving electricity, providing funding from the CES fund to implement programs focusing on entrepreneurs and investors to achieve export targets, establishing an investment facilitation committee to facilitate investment in the export sector by providing investment support for both domestic and foreign investments, and providing export incentives for export of gems and jewellery by identifying the correct export value through an appropriate method. Meanwhile, discussions were held regarding providing customs duty concessions on raw material imports to promote the export of locally manufactured electronic equipment and devices. Special attention was given to the digitalization of data systems related to the export industry. There was also a focus on increasing the bank guarantee limits for incentivizing service exports. The meeting also addressed challenges currently faced by the export sector and potential solutions. Issues related to the inspection of apparel exports were highlighted and resolutions were formulated with the consensus of all stakeholders. President Dissanayake directed officials to take the necessary steps to increase export revenue to $36 billion by 2030. Export revenue stood at $16.1 billion in 2024, and the government expects it to rise to $18.2 billion this year. Meanwhile today, President Dissanayake chaired the meeting of the Board of Governors of the President's Fund. During the meeting, approval was granted to extend the fund services to rural areas through a streamlined process coordinated via Divisional Secretariat officers. Meanwhile, in order to address surgical delays in government hospitals, the Council proposed facilitating surgeries outside regular working hours and offering incentives to medical staff involved in these after-hours procedures with funding provided by the President's Fund. Currently, this initiative is operational at the Karapite Teaching Hospital, and plans are underway to expand it to the National Hospital in Colombo, the Kandy General Hospital and the Lady Ridgeway Children's Hospital. The Council also explored the possibility of broadening educational support for students, emphasizing the need to launch new programs targeting children preparing for GCE ordinary level and advanced level examinations, while continuing and expanding existing initiatives.